I wanted to talk. If you, we could say this if you're not too familiar, but how familiar with the up and coming season so far? Have you watched many shows, or at least heard about them?
Does Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack? Well, I'm still behind on those two. Like,
Mhm.
I'm,
Yeah, so
I'm
those actually just ended this season.
yeah, I'm behind. I haven't seen the ending. And Ruby too. I've been wanting to.
So,
I had a
so tell you
friend
what,
that was.
since you haven't seen them, I'll go ahead and I feel like this would be interesting for both ours and reviews. I'm going to tell you some shows, and I'll give you a description from what I've seen from the first episode or so. And how about you tell me if you'd watch them or not?
All right,
So,
yeah,
all
that'd be
right.
fun.
So first off, I'm going to tell everyone to watch this and go back and watch season 1 if you haven't seen it. Nomad Megaloboxing 2, or just Megalobox 2. Watch it. It's a boxing anime, sport anime. So good. My only critique of the last season of the first season of the anime was the ending was kind of lackluster. But now that we have a season 2, which like I don't think they originally planned, I think because of the popularity, they're like, let's continue the story because everyone loved it, which I'm totally for. So because there's a season 2, that's null and void. And I loved the first episode of season 2 because it did something really interesting with the main character and cast. Won't spoil anything. Definitely watch it. That is
It's
my
it's
one. Like, if I had to recommend one thing that you should totally watch, go watch Megalobox.
Dude. Like I actually watched the first. I watched half, maybe less than half of the first season when I was like 2016 or
Mm-hmm.
17 when it came out. I was a
Mm-hmm.
teenager, like a young adolescent
Mm-hmm.
male, but I was like I like the setting and I like the boxing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I just got distracted with other stuff like JoJo or what else was out at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Love is War or something like that probably was out.
Yeah, I don't think
So,
that's the same thing, but I know what you mean.
but I definitely you definitely piqued my interest. So you win that one. You get a point for that one.
Yeah,
You
like I'm
definitely
telling
got
you, like it is a good boxing. It's also like it pays homage to the past. Like Joe, I forgot what it's called. The
Baku. What's his name? Baku.
I don't know what it's called, but it was like the original boxing like
Uh,
manga and anime. It's something like Ashita no Joe. Ashita no Joe. It pays homage to that. Like the main character of this of Megalobox, his name is Joe. So
uh,
they pay homage and they really respect it. Next anime, and I'm just gonna go through the ones I liked because why would I do otherwise? Shaman King 2021. So this is a remake of Shaman King. I never watched the original Shaman King. I watched the first episode. Here's what I'll say. I think it's fun, but it's definitely an older shonen, which is both good and bad to me. So I feel like I had to turn my brain off a little bit. But if I did that, it was actually really enjoyable. There's some tropes, like old tropes, that I'm like, wow, like I remember that when I watched like Naruto back in the day. So it gives me that nostalgia feel, but I do feel like since I'm older, I'm not quite in the demographic, but I don't think that's a deal breaker. Basically, the concept, they're shamans, they can like speak to the dead and gods and whatever, and get and like basically like let them possess them and get their powers or whatever. Seems pretty interesting. Maybe not a total recommendation, but I found it interesting. So just out there for people to go. And again, it is a remake and it looks pretty good.
I had that's interesting because I watched a video. I probably was watching one of the reviewers, and I didn't even know this existed on Disney XD or something like it was on not Disney XD
Mhm.
Jetix, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was on Jetix, and I was like I knew that looked familiar, but I never got into it, and like so I'm interested to try that out. Definitely, probably might unlock some
Hmm.
nostalgia I didn't know was there.
Oh yeah. Um, Next anime, and this one I'm excited for. I've never. I think it has a pretty. I think it has a manga out, and I think I've heard of it from a friend before. But that, anyways, Tokyo Revengers is the name of this next anime. I liked it. I'm interested. I I don't know. It's one of those things I don't know enough about, but the first episode pretty much hooked me. I can't say if it's going to be super good or not yet, but I thought the concept was interesting. So Tokyo Revengers takes place in modern day. I think 2017 is when it takes place. And it's kind of like erased, which if you know me, that's a good thing. So
Yeah.
basically, And again, spoilers, small spoilers for the first episode. The main character, for one reason or another, is able to go back in time. And it's funny because the main character, when he goes back in time, is like completely different from what he is in the future. And I find that really interesting. And he goes back in time for a reason, and that is to basically save somebody. That's not like, well, I won't spoil anything, but he kind of didn't want to go, but like he didn't know he was going back in time, which is also interesting. The first episode ends on an interesting thing because he goes back in time. He like, oh yeah, I told the person, blah blah. But the ending doesn't end like you'd expect it to, but it really makes for an interesting mystery thriller. The reason why I recommend it to people, main character looks really fun. The main cast of what looks to be the main cast, again, only episode 1, they look like they're pretty cool, interesting characters. It's kind of like it's basically a bunch of middle school boys that are like trying to be delinquents, if that makes sense. It seems really fun. Again, first episode, I don't know enough to give a whole review, but I will give it I'll give it 2 thumbs up. I thought the first episode was pretty good.
Yeah. I think that for the description that might be the lowest on the list. Not that you gave a bad description, but it might not be. I might be a little slower to that one. Well, maybe no. I might put it over Shaman King since Shaman.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things. Like again, it's episode 1, and it's like I don't have the hype that I had for Megalobox. Plus, Megalobox episode 1 of Megalobox was really good. Like I think is definitely a hook. With this one, I think it's a niche hook. Like, if you like mysteries, if you're the person that like, if you watched a race and loved a race, I feel like this will be really good. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know if it's for everybody. But to me, I'm interested to see where it goes. Let me see. There's Boku no Hero. I don't think we need to talk too much about that one. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a pretty cool one. I need to catch up. I'll be honest. I'm behind. I read the manga and I got super ahead. And now I think the anime is ahead of me because it's been a while. So it's like one of those things where I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be good, but I do need to catch up. What about you? I finished
the last season. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that story continues. I have a friend, like he's been kind of like negative towards like where it's going and stuff like that, but I'm just like but it kind of like, shoot, don't even tell me that because I really enjoy it. I've enjoyed what I've seen so far, and a lot of people kind of like, because of the fandom, there's a lot of hate towards that, and then I'm not the type of person like, I don't need any negativity in my life and no critiques, and like it's good to have critiques and like some look at reality at times, but it was just like, shoot, man, you kind of harsh on my Milo. And I was just like, I actually like don't ruin my hero because I really enjoyed this. I've kept up with it compared to like Naruto and One Piece, so I'm just trying to enjoy the ride.
No, exactly. I'm trying to think if there's any. There's one that I haven't watched, but I know there's a video game, so we'll have to check that out. Maybe it'll be interesting. It's called. It's like The World Starts With You, the animation.
Oh, it's another anime.
Yeah, apparently, I guess it was a video game. The art style looks really interesting. It's called The World Ends With You. And
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we should check that one out. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I definitely will say when Megalobox is finished or halfway through, whatever, we were talking about it. Oh gosh, I'm excited for that one.